country today celebrated its 100th year of the Declaration of Independence. President Ramos led the nation in commemorating Asia's first revolution against Western colonial rule. We begin in Kawit, Cavite, where General Emilio Aguinaldo proclaimed independence 100 years ago. The president called on all Filipinos to face challenges with the same devotion and commitment as their heroes did in 1898. Grace de la Peña reports.
The ceremony was meant to evoke the sense of patriotism in Filipinos. President Ramos took a step back in time as he reenacted events of 100 years ago with Cavite. He stood where Emilio Aguinaldo did on June 12, 1898, to declare the country's independence from Spain. The president read part of it, translated from the original Spanish.
Ipinahahayag natin ngayon at pinasisilayan sa ngalan ng buong Pilipinas ang ating karapatang makapamuhay ng malaya at nagsasarili, hiwalay sa lubusang kalag nasa kapangyarihan ng Espanya. Kaya't wala nang kabuluhan ang anumang pagkakaugnay natin sa kanya.
The president waved the Philippine flag just as Aguinaldo did for the first time 100 years ago. In the background, a stirring rendition of the national anthem could be heard. The atmosphere was more festive at the Rizal Park during the afternoon celebrations. The president said Filipinos have many reasons to celebrate, achieving peace and development in a democracy. But more than that, he said this should be a time for renewal, that for the next 100 years, Filipinos must face challenges ahead with unity, fortitude, and nobility of spirit, just as their heroes did in 1898.
For Centennial is simply the beginning of even greater things for as long as we hold true to the unity and to the courage that brought us here to Bagong Bayan, to Pugan, to Kawit, to Bataan, and then to EDSA. And whenever our resolve should falter, let us look back to how our story as a nation began.
The international community greeted the Philippines on this historic day. Members of the diplomatic corps joined the president in Malacanang, offering toasts for continued peace and prosperity.
To the universal and timeless values of freedom and friendship, and to the next 100 glorious years in the life of the Philippines. Thank you, mabuhay.
Grace de la Peña, GMA News.
For his part, the country's incoming president, Joseph Ejercito Estrada, the Centennial rights at the Rizal Park. Maki Pulido reports on the early activities at the Luneta.
The heat was almost unbearable, but thousands of people still trooped to the Rizal Park to be part of the Centennial celebrations. President-elect Joseph Estrada and Vice President-elect Gloria Macapagal Arroyo led the flag-raising ceremony in front of the Rizal Monument. This was just the start of a series of activities in celebration of the Centennial at the Rizal Park. There was the sky-jumping event. From 5,000 feet, parachutists jumped from helicopters and landed in the middle of the Rizal Park.
Lalo ka nitong maraming spectator at saka maganda yung lalo maganda yung crowd, maganda yung feeling pag-jump.
The National Police set up massive security for the Centennial. Almost 3,000 policemen were deployed at the immediate area of the Rizal Park alone. Not everyone was happy with the police presence. At least 60 vendors were not allowed to sell inside the Rizal Park. They accused policemen of extorting money from them in exchange for being allowed to do business inside the park.
Wala pa ho kaming tulog. Dahil nga nagtinda ito, alam ho namin kalayaan, walang huli. Nagulat na lang kami, inuli na lang kami.
Pagdating pala namin dito, hindi namin alam na wala man lang silang sinabi na bawal pumasok. Hindi pumasok kami, nagtinda kami. Bigla lang kami hinuli lahat, marami kami rito.
The PNP denied this. They added that only vendors with business permits were allowed inside the park. Maki Pulido, GMA News.
The headlines was brought to you by Hope Luxury Cigarettes.
It was a colorful and festive day at the Luneta. Brass bands played and costume participants danced as Philippine tourists watched. Rochelle C. reports on the highlights of the Grand Centennial Parade.
After
Filipino arts. These are some of the themes of the colorful floats which participated in today's Grand Centennial Parade. Filipinos from all walks of life lined the Ross Boulevard from Vito Cruz Street to Anda Circle to catch a glimpse of the passing floats. Others opted to watch from the comforts of hotel balconies along the way. President Fidel Ramos arrived at the Quirino Grandstand in Luneta to join the Grand Centennial Parade. With Ramos were President-elect Joseph Estrada, NCC Chair Salvador Laurel, and other local officials. More than 30 countries sent their representatives to join the celebrations.
Tayong lahat na maging bahagi ng ganitong pagulita na hindi na muling mauulit sa ating panahon. Kaya ating samantalahin ang pagkakataong ito at sama-sama nating ipagbunyi at ipagdiwang ang katatagan at katatagan ng lahing Pilipino.
The President's Centennial message, the Grand Parade started. Floats depicting the country's more than 400 years of history. From the country's 333 years of struggle against Spain, the short-lived American rule, the Second World War, up to the EDSA Revolution. Other floats depicted the different aspects of our culture.
The climax of the Grand Centennial Parade was the big fireworks display. Rochelle C. went back to the park for the colorful show in the sky. Rochelle, tell us about the fireworks. It's so unfair. You're there, you see it live, and we don't.
Yeah, well, it was really great. But excitement is almost over here at our corner near the Quirino Grandstand. You'd never think that less than 3 hours ago, almost 2 million people were here watching the grand fireworks display, which cost 30 million pesos. 5 million pesos from the government and the rest from the private sector. The sky was literally dotted with multicolored lights, which lasted a full 30 minutes. People here were treated to a fabulous spectacle of cascades, fountains, hearts, planets, and even happy faces. Here were some of the highlights. From the reaction of the crowd, they obviously to the display. But now that the fireworks are done, the people have all gone, leaving the place literally littered with garbage. Let's just hope it doesn't take another 100 years to clean up this mess. From Quirino Grandstand, this is Rochelle C., GMA Network News.